All right, hello everyone. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and we are going to be jumping right into where we left off in the last video, which we are going through. I have my NVIDIA Nano right there, and we have it hooked up to our MacBook, and we are trying to be able to get AI. So we have an LLM on it, and we're able to run it through Olama. But now what we want to do is be able to write a Python script to be able to get the orchestration of the system all working. So, really understand how AI is operating, how you're able to uh, adjust all of these different parameters which you send and interact with the LLM, and get a better and better understanding of how this world interacts. Okay, so I'm gonna just make myself smaller and we're gonna just jump right in. The last thing that I did, so in the last video, I was filming it maybe like 5 minutes ago, and it was I don't even have a timer when I film these videos. It's more of just like I was feeling, oh, I wonder how long I've been doing this video. I am worried about my computer like crashing because I didn't know how large the memory was going to be, right? Turns out the video was essentially 3 hours long. I think it was 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, it didn't feel like 2 hours and 50 minutes. We were going, we were having a great time. Um, and it was 22 gigabytes. And now that actually brings up some interesting questions. One, again, my videos, the when I do my development, I'm not fully focused on only one thing. I'm trying to be more general and use projects to be able to explore different topics and understand things better. So this brought up a question for me. So, okay, if I'm using this QuickTime, right? And it was 22 gigs, and how many gigabytes of RAM does my MacBook have? Because I think it's only 8. And if I am here recording, isn't that in RAM? And how does that working? Right? So I actually want to ask that as a question here, even though it's not part of our project. It is an interesting thing which we have come upon in the doing of our project. Now, it's also kind of like it wasn't part of actually even doing the project because it was filming the doing of the projects. But anyways, so follow-up question number one is, I have a random question. I am filming a video on my MacBook with QuickTime Player, I think it's called. Player. The video turned out to be 3 hours long, and what did I say? 22 gigabytes. I am now confused about how this is possible, because my idea is that while I am filming or recording, right, this will be living in RAM and only goes to disk once I save it. This should be the reason why, if my computer crashes during recording, then I lose all that data. Okay? But if 22 gigabytes is larger than my RAM, how is this occurring? I'm guessing that QuickTime is like chunking it or something, but I want to be sure. Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, okay, well, how is that actually happening? Um, Also, is there a way to check my RAM memory and disk memory through CLI? I'm sure that there is. Okay, but anyways, there's that. So let's this is only follow-up question number 1. We have plenty of other follow-up questions, right? So the assistant message. So let me come here, and we are going through this code right here, which we were creating in the last video, and I'm trying to understand how Olama actually uses these things, which is like message. So message is a list, and we can put in a dictionary right there, right? But we can also put in objects. So what I mean by that is, like, I can say messages.append, and then instead of appending this dictionary, Gemini is saying that I should be appending the response, like the actual response which I'm getting. Okay, so I'm gonna have to think about this. So it's saying when the AI wants to read a tool called response message, or when it wants to read a tool, the response message looks like this internally, right? Okay, so assistant means this object is coming from the LLM. So role is assistant, the content is nothing, right? And tools call has a list of things, okay? And that's why we can do this tools call, right? So the response that we got, then we go into the message, which is what the LLM sent, right? It's this thing here, okay? And okay, I guess the other question is, response is just going to be the latest thing that it responds with, right? Yeah, so it's not keeping track of the history at this point. Okay, and then tool calls, and this is a list. And now what is this a list of? So I'm here, and now this is, yeah, I'm trying to understand what this actually is. And I think we asked that question here. So there's a lot of okay. So why is it unhappy? If you manually do role assistant content response message content, you are dropping the tools call. But I section, right? Did I do assistant though? I didn't even do the assistant part. The result of dropping it. The next time you talk to the AI, it sees tool result in the history but has no assistant question to attach it. Okay, so we attach back the tool result, but it doesn't know why we're giving it that result. Okay. It's like seeing an answer to a question you don't remember asking. Okay, I see what the problem is now. Correct workflow is here. So the user asks, how hot is it? The assistant calls for get temp. So append this whole object. Okay. So what we should do is here we should messages dot append. And what do we want to append? We want to append the response message. But we're doing this each tool, right? So I guess my question is now going to be, so should I append, okay, I'm going to say, in my code, I do a for loop, which will go through each of the tools which it asked for. Should I only append the one time it asked for multiple tools, and then append the tool response for each of the tools which it asked for, right? Okay, so run your code, the tool content, append this, it sees, okay. So what I'm thinking is we don't do it here. I think what we want to do is, I think we want to come here and do messages.append and then response.message, like this, right? And let me, actually, does this, let me see. Do I need to, would it be pip install? Let's see if I can do pip install Ollama. Because I want to actually see these things. And I remember we did pip install up here, right? So what was the command? Pip install Ollama. So yeah, let's see if we can do that here. Okay. Good. You may have installed Python packages which can cause conflicts between package versions. Would you like to create a virtual environment? No, I don't want to create a virtual environment. So now I should be able to, I still can't see messages here. Like, I thought that would fix it. So, okay, that indicates that my worldview was incorrect, and therefore I want to understand what the discrepancy is. On my MacBook, I did pip install Ollama, but okay, now that's the situation. Now what is the discrepancy? I thought that this would result in my VS Code now being able to infer the fields of the response, but that seems to not be the case. Can you explain the concepts of how and why this didn't work? Okay. So like, So for like this, right? Like here, and then I say, for example, if I do response dot, it does not automatically give me message as a valid idea. It seems to still not know what is a valid field for response. Okay. So now what I want to do is I do this entire message, right? And that comes from, let me look at the curl command. So we're going to have this, where is my curl? Where's my curl? Is this the right one? I think so, yeah. So curl to the chat. Yes, that's what I want. And now, so it responds back with this object right there, okay? So this is the object so this is what Olama gives me, right? And now what do I want? I want the key of message, which is, what is the value of that key? It is another JSON object, and that object has role assistant, and assistant means the LLM, right? The LLM's response, content, and also we'll have something called tool, okay? So this tool is going to be, what is this tool going to be? So I want to append this entire object here. So that's why I don't need to do it like create an actual dictionary, because it will parse that. Okay, so that's here. Awesome. And I can just close that. So now I want to append each one there. Okay. So fine. Copy all of this and ask it, what follow-up question are we on now? 3, so we're going to do 4. What do you think of my current code? Okay. Go. Okay, so your intuition that RAM is for active work and disk is for storage is generally correct, but video recording uses a technique called buffering and streaming, okay? How it works. QuickTime doesn't hold the whole 22 gigs in RAM. It takes small chunks of the video, a few milliseconds, encodes it, and immediately flushes it to a temporary file on your disk. Ah, I got it. Okay. The crash scenario. If your Mac crashes, you lose the data because the file header, the index that tells your computer how to read the 22 gigs, was never finalized and saved. The 22 gigs is there, but it's raw, unreadable without that header. Okay, so there's a header that tells it how to read the 22 gigs. I am going to curb my curiosity for a second because I think you guys know what I'm about to say, but I really want to go down the rabbit hole of saying, okay, what is this header? How does it say all of the different ways to read the field, or how to read? What was it? So how does it? Because the header file never finalizes, is unreadable. Okay, well, what does this header file look like? How does it tell my computer how to read? Is it possible to recover even if we don't have that header file? How do we know, right? Like, I want to go down that rabbit hole, but we do need to kind of stay focused. So it's something interesting, but I really have to curb my curiosity here. All right, so df looks at dev disk, okay, or for free space. Interesting. Okay. So RAM here or VMstat. Okay. So if I'm ever like worried about my computer crashing, I can just use those commands and see how much I have. So appending tool messages. You should append assistant message once. Okay, that's what I have, yeah. The one containing all tool calls, and then append tool message for every individual tool. Yep, okay, good. If the AI asks for 3 things at once, the script of the conversation must show 1 request followed by 3 answers. Your current loop does this correctly. Good. Okay, why VS Code is blind to Olama fields. Okay, installing a library via pip doesn't always automatically tell VS Code IntelliSense, the autocomplete engine, what the data looks like. Okay, so the reason is Python is dynamically typed. Many libraries don't explicitly define the type. Okay, I see. VS Code sees response here, but doesn't know for sure that response will be a chat response object until the code actually runs. I see. Okay. You can help VS Code by typing a hint here. So response, import here. Okay, so response, chat response is equal to Olama chat. I want to try that. I just want to see if it works. Okay. It's not defined. Okay. Let me just... Okay, so let me come and see messages. Let me just... a response, right? Response dot... No. Okay. I am going to hashtag this out for right now, and we can investigate it later. Not something that we need immediately. Also, ensure that your VS Code interpreter, the bottom right window, is set to the same version of Python. Oh, maybe we did Python and not Python 3. Okay. Again, like there's a lot of things going on right now. I'm trying to really focus my attention. Although we should, it would be helpful to really have. So this is, yeah, Python. We are not in Python 3, right? Okay. And what did I do my pip install on? Okay, follow-up question number 1 is, how does pip install actually... I was hoping to be able to get more into the AI stuff in this video. We got into some AI stuff in the last video, but right now it's kind of like doing a lot of the like administrative stuff. So I'm sorry, but it's also it's going to increase our velocity moving forward, so it's something that we have to do. How does pip install actually work regarding how it does whatever you say, the version of Python. I'm assuming that it means like Python 3 versus Python original. How does it choose it? And what does my interpreter actually what does my interpreter do in this case? So it's kind of interesting coming back to Python after I've started learning a lot of concepts in the other languages, not other but just like develop my skills as an engineer, but using C and C sharp. Okay. Now I'm coming back to Python, and when I initially learned Python, I had much less knowledge of the space. And now it's interesting coming back to it and being like, okay, well now I'm diving into those concepts that I never even had any idea about. So interpreter, okay, well what is the interpreter? How does it actually operate? What is the interpreter? Is it like similar to the .NET runtime? Is it like the .NET runtime, right? Okay. And now, here is my pip install command. Does this give you more context? Okay. All right. So, code review. Okay, your current script. Your code is 85% of the way there. It's functional, but has one logic flaw that will cause a crash and one missing piece of agentic behavior. The crash. If the AI responds with just text, no tool calls, will be none. Running in none will throw an error. Okay. Double append. At the very end, you do messages.append. Here, you should append message. Okay. Improved version. I don't want to do this if, though. It's just inelegant. Is there a safe? Okay, I'm going to ask, what are we on? Follow-up question number what? I don't know. 2, maybe? 2. Is there a safe way to do a for loop if the value might be none? Because it's not an empty list. It is none, right? I could use your way of this, like, of if this, but it seems more elegant, to be able to do it without branching conditional, if else statements, because okay, all right, there we go. Oh, I should have asked more questions regarding kind of what this I forget what we were doing. That's fine. Your terminal output provides perfect crime scene to explain how Python manages itself. The where and which. When you type pip install, your MacBook looks at your path, a list of folders, to find an executable named pip. Okay, so like in Linux, it would be like whatever bin, or like, what was it? User bin, I think, is where a lot of the executables are, and then there's like user local bin. And, yeah. If found, it try. Okay, so in my case, so I did pip install. So pip is an executable. I did install. So my Mac looked here and found something called pip, which is an executable. Okay. It found one tied to Python 3.10 located in library frameworks. Okay, so this is different than Linux, right? Oh, I don't want to do another follow-up question, but I have to because it's really good information. So this is where my pip executable lives on my MacBook. This seems very different than where I am used to seeing executables on Linux, such as in user bin, and I think it was user like local bin, etc. All right, so pip is actually a Python script itself. Oh, it's not an executable? Well, I guess Python no, Python is not an executable because I guess that would be the interpreter, right? The interpreter is the executable, and you run the executable, right? Python 3, for example, that command is going to be an executable. It's going to invoke that executable, which is Python 3. I'm guessing my interpreter, okay? And then I pass in arguments, which is the file name. And I'm guessing I pass in hidden parameters of like the current folder, okay? And pass those arguments into the executable, the Python 3 executable, and then my Python 3 executable parses the file and executes that. I'm guessing so, right? Which, by the way, what I'm trying to do with these videos is also document kind of the process of becoming an engineer and becoming better at this. And so I do want to take a moment to say, like, it's amazing coming back to something after you have grown in other aspects. So recently I've been really trying to study how Linux is operating, how C# is operating, how C is operating, right? All of these different things. And in the past, I remember when I was doing Python, I was so confused about what is interpreter, I had no idea about like how a program actually invokes like executables. I didn't know. I would type Python 3. I was like, I don't know. It's just, I type Python 3 and I know that it does its thing, right? I had no idea about executables. I had no idea about passing in arguments to your executable. I had no idea. But then I started really digging into it. By the way, with this Socratic method, people continually tell me on like YouTube, I'll get comments saying like, "Oh, this method is like you're never going to learn anything if you use AI to do everything for you." By the way, which is not true. I'm not using AI to do everything for me. I'm asking it questions, right? But there is absolutely evidence that this method is working. And so I was using this method to go in and query like, okay, well, how does Linux actually invoke these commands, right? Like, where are they? What do they do? How do they work? Who is invoking them? What is the kernel? What is the operating system? How does all of this work? How do you actually interact with the hardware on a Linux device, right? Like trying to get into all of these questions. And now coming back to the world of Python, all of a sudden when something that used to I was it was like, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, fine, it's working. Let's go. Now all of a sudden I'm able to even just reason through it. And I think that this is what's going on. Now we're gonna see about that, right? But I wanted to point that out because my YouTube channel is kind of dedicated to trying to document the process of becoming an engineer. And it's something that is very interesting because now when I look at it, it's just like almost apparent to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, obviously this is going to be the way that it is. That makes perfect sense. Whereas in the past, I don't know, I just type Python 3 and it comes up. I don't know why. Okay, well, sometimes I I type Python 3 and I get an error. Okay, well, why did I get that error? I have no idea. And then I can do install. Okay, so I just do install and then Python 3, right? Like learning these, I guess, steps. I learned some steps that get the result that I want. But now I'm not doing steps anymore. I understand the concepts, so now I say, "Oh, okay, well I got this error, Python 3 like not found or whatever it is." Well, yeah, because I don't have the executable in the right location, and when I type that, my OS is not going to be able to find that actual executable in one of the folders, that the standard folders that it looks for. Of course it's going to fail, right? Anyways, all right. And then you know how to solve it because you have the concept for it. So it's like, okay, well, I just need to get that executable in the right location and then I'll be able to do it. Okay, so how it chooses, we already got this. The interpreter is a program that reads the .py. Yes, there it is. There it is. It is so apparent to me now. That's amazing. I was just like something that I was so confused about in the past is now just like, yeah, of course it's going to be that. I love it. I love it. I love this feeling of like growing and really advancing in my understanding and my knowledge. So yeah, translates them into instructions the CPU can read. Yeah. Is it like .NET? Yes and no. Similar to the .NET runtime, it manages memory and garbage collection. Yeah, so it's doing the Python 3 executable. It's doing it is doing all of the memory management and trying to make sure that variables are freed up and moving memory around, all of that stuff. That becomes very annoying when you are trying to invoke things from different languages. My goodness, have you guys ever tried trying to do p invoke from C sharp? So you're in C sharp, you're in the .NET runtime, which has garbage collector, right? And memory is moving around all over the place. And now you're saying, I want to invoke C, which C assumes that all of the memory is static and where it is where it is, not moved around. There's no garbage collector, there's no none of that. So you have to pin everything and you have to big thing and then marshal it, right? All of that. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. As I said, the last video that I did was 3 hours long, and then I just rolled right into this video. So whenever I do these videos, I'm just like talking for hours on end, and my throat's like, ugh. Okay. So difference between .NET. So .NET uses just-in-time compilation to turn code into machine code before running. The standard Python is bytecode interpreter. Okay, so again, that's interesting. I've never heard of this. But I don't want to get lost in rabbit holes right now. It sounds like a very interesting topic. I would love to go in and fully understand it. And it would probably be pretty helpful, and I would probably be able to be more confident in the future when I come into an issue, just like what I just said, where I was like, oh, now it makes perfect sense because I went down those rabbit holes, because I did the like Socratic way of I don't know if it's Socratic way, but just like I used my method of like follow-up questions. So because I used my method of AI interrogation, I was able to understand about, like, this was just apparent to me, right? And I'm sure if I would go down this rabbit hole in the future, there would be a case where I'd be like, yeah, of course, okay, this makes so much more sense. And the more that you can understand of just like these basic things, the better you're going to be. But I also want to kind of move forward because we haven't even touched any AI stuff this entire video. I don't know how long this video has gone, but Okay. It turns the files into bytecode and then executes them line by line using a virtual machine. Okay. So it uses a VM? Interesting. Is that the... Okay. It's generally slower than .NET, but more flexible. Okay. We're going to... Should I write it down as something that I want to investigate? I don't know. Okay, so I have this list of things that I kind of want to investigate in the future. Seems like, okay, so .NET, just in time. So I'm going to say .NET, and then just in time compilation. And then versus Python bytecode interpreter. Okay, that way it does seem kind of interesting. And then another one, just like along with this, the interpreter uses or creates a VM. Okay, so I have this written down. This is kind of like my future things that I want to investigate. It's things that I don't want to... I know that I am very prone to going down rabbit holes, but I put it down there so that way it's not lost to time, right? So we'll be able to go back and look at those, but not right now. The VS Code disconnect. The reason VS Code isn't showing, I'm guessing also because look at that, it says Python, not Python 3. Because multiple interpreters. You might have Python 3.2 or the Mac is built with Python 3.9 also installed. So both of those are 3, but they're different like versions, right? Should we go into versions of Python? Can I do which Python? So apparently I do not have the executable called Python. Should see this one, yeah. I do have the executable called Python 3. 3 version. Oh, that's... Okay. Can I maybe double? Was it... that's not right. No. Okay, whatever. We could do... Is there help? Okay, so Python. Come on. So capital V. Okay. 3.14. Okay. By the way, this is another point of observation. Now that I understand how the executables are actually working, I know that I can pass in the argument, which the minus v is just the argument, just like how I would normally do Python 3 and then whatever main.py, or in this case jetsonexample.py, right? Like this is the argument. Or I can pass in this one as the argument and it just goes to that right? Like now it just, I'm I'm following a pattern that I remembered and just following that pattern because it's worked. Now I understand, like, oh yeah, okay, this is why. And above I tried to invoke a executable Python which did not exist, and that's why it didn't give me the version, right? And then I did this, Python 3 with the capital V, which was listed here. And now, instead of actually running the interpreter, it just ran, like it parsed my arguments. It saw that I passed in V as the argument. It responded back with the version that it is and then exited. And because I've gone into executables and like catted their content, because I was curious about that, I was like, okay, well, what do these executables actually look like? Oh, I see. So they just parse the user's thing and then they can just return, and that's how you can get the version. Oh, right. So it's like it's a different world between going through just steps. Okay, I do this step and I do this step and I do this step. And then the other one, which is actually understanding what's going on and being able to do things because you know what's happening. All right, so we still have not touched any AI this entire video. Good. Okay, so I'm on Python 12, yes. Okay. Python 14, okay. So I'm gonna say this here, right? But I also see on my VS Code that, so it has here Python. I don't know if this means that it is, I don't know what this Python means. Who owns this right here? And do I need to specify Python 3, right? That in the bottom right, it says Python. Okay. What is this? Who owns it? And does it need to match the version in my version of my interpreter? Okay. So I might have multiple versions. Okay, whatever. You're right. Can feel clunky in Python. There is a very elegant way to handle the maybe none. So I want like in C# you can have like a way to handle nulls really easy. Okay. Handle a maybe none value using the OR operator. Okay, in Python, none is false C. Okay, I've heard this false C before. Let's figure out what exactly it means. If the left side of an OR is false C, okay, so they just use that term. What exactly does falsy mean, and what are you comparing it to? Would like is falsy and false different? I don't know. What does that mean? Returns the right side. Okay, so if the left hand side, yeah, that's always how OR statements work. You can block it. Okay. Oh, so I see what it's saying. Okay, so okay. in oh, actually, hold on. Or here. So, okay, so this is going to be none, right? Or that. Okay, so, or this. So, if this is none, so now we're changing this to be an expression, right? So we do this, or this. But this is not, this evaluates to true, but then for, wouldn't this mean it evaluates to a Boolean of true? Okay. So let's start going into here. So you're right, in standard Linux, like your Jetson, almost everything is in bin user. However, Mac OS is a bit of a hybrid. So it has this for system tools provided by Apple. They're built in. Okay, awesome. Library frameworks. This is where the official Python installer puts files. It keeps user Python entirely separate from the system Python so they don't break each other. Okay. The link. To make your life easier, the installer creates a shortcut from user local bin Python that points to this location. Oh, I see. It's just a link. Okay. You can see this by typing ls and then which Python. Okay. Should we do that? Let's do it. Okay, so homebrew bin Python 3. Okay, and then points. Okay, fine. This is why your VS Code isn't. Obviously, I want to know user Python versus system Python. Okay, wait, what is the difference between user? Oh man, oh, we're not doing any AI in this video. I'm sorry. What is the difference between user and system? Okay, can you give me some examples? All right. So in my terminal, your terminal is running 3.14, which is a very new experimental version. My pip is 310, as seen by the output. The problem is libraries installed are not visible to 3.14. They are different silos. Okay. The VS Code here, this is the language server, usually Pylance. Again, I haven't heard of Pylance. Who owns it? Microsoft. Okay. And I know Microsoft owns VS Code, so is that what it owns? I don't know. Does it need to match? Yes. If the interpreter here, click in the bottom right. What? Auto detect? Configure Python language based on settings. Okay. So I have multiple things that I need to do. Apparently, I probably need to update pip install, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna verify that my understanding is correct. So I need to update pip install then I need to redo the command for pip install Olama. Okay. Then I need to change the settings on my VS Code to point to the 3.14, which is already on my MacBook. Is this correct? Okay. Also, should I remove the old things which I just installed, such as Olama using the old pip version? How are all of these things interacting with each other? Okay, yeah, we're not going to get any AI in this video. I'm sorry. I was hoping to. Okay. So I should be able to do this. Okay, that's going to be next thing. In many languages, if statement only works with strict true or false. Okay. In Python, almost every object has a truthiness value. So false, the literal Boolean. Falsy, values that act like false when put in a logical test. Okay, so none, zero, empty. Oh, okay, empty dictionary. That's why we can do an empty dictionary in truthiness, everything else. Okay, the comparison. When you say if my list, Python isn't comparing it to true. It's asking, is this list empty or none? Okay. It's a clever shortcut in Python's short circuit evaluation. It does not return a Boolean true. It returns the actual object. How A-B works in Python. If A is truthy, return A, ignore B. If A is falsy, return B. Oh, okay. It's like the if-else kind of conditional. Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense now. If you ever get confused about which close you are putting things in, which tells you which interpreter is active, which pip tells you which installer is active. Okay, so let's do this as well. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna say which pip, right? And 3 point, yeah, okay. So number 3, to be even more clear, what this exactly means is that when I do the command pip install my new library, pip will wake up, grab my argument, find that for the Python version of the pip executable and install that version of the library onto my computer disk. Okay. Okay. So system versus user. Think of system Python as the vital organ in your Mac's body. macOS uses it for internal scripts, window management, and background. Oh, because you need Python to be able to run certain scripts. Okay. System Python usually located in user bin Python 3. Apple manages. Oh, okay. It's an Apple managed thing. If you delete it or mess up the libraries, your Mac will fail to boot. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Once again, learning new things every day. Using Python located in library frameworks, or user local bin. Okay, this is your sandbox. You can install whatever you want here without worrying about breaking macOS. Awesome. So system Python is the electrical wiring inside your walls. Using Python, user Python is a power strip. Okay, that's fine. No, we get it now. Your logic is mostly correct, but let's define the steps so you don't end up with a ghost installation. So since your terminal defaults to 3.14, it is easiest to make everything match 3.14. Don't bother removing old stuff. The Olama library in 3.1 is only 14 kilobytes. It's just sitting in a folder and not running or hurting anything. Leave it as a backup. But that's not the point, though. The point is, like, as I continue with my development, I'm just going to keep getting these files building up, and my computer is going to get more and more and more bloated. That's kind of what I'm just concerned about. So it's not about the 14 kilobytes. It's about understanding how to make sure that I maintain a clean system throughout everything. Target the right place. Shows here running pip install will keep putting things in the 3.10. Python 3 pip install. Okay. Run this on your terminal to force the install to activate the 3.1 version. Tells the computer, hey, Python 3, find your version of pip and use it. Okay. Yes, click the interpreter at the bottom and make sure it points to the 3.14 path. When you run your... Okay. So let's just try it. Let's just try it. I mean, we've gone down this enough. I'm gonna come here, right? Did it fail? Externally managed. Oh, because it doesn't. This is, we are going way too far down a rabbit hole right now. This is not it. Yeah, externally managed. Yeah, it has to do with, like, I ran into this problem once. It was like, the I forget what it was. But anyways, You nailed it. Here wakes up, it checks its own DNA and knows it belongs to Python 3. It downloads the library, it stores it. Here, the conflict. When you run your code, here the interpreter looks. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, virtual environments. I remember I was super confused about virtual environments in the past, but once again, I kind of want to actually do some development. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave off the video here, and then I am going to just come right back into it. Like, we're just going to do another video. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like this video was kind of a waste. Or I just keep going. I don't know. I have no idea how long this video is. Should we just see if it runs? Let's just see if it runs. So what was it? Cat here goes to Jetson example here, and then paste it in, and then Control D, and now I should be able to just run it. Let's see. Python 3, and then this one here. Is it going to run? Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Right? So no, it does not. Input should be a valid dictionary or instance. Okay. So what is it angry about? Changed Jetson example to be able to correctly use what? I don't know. Use models. I feel like my brain is kind of like, I should probably eat something too. I haven't eaten in a long time. To use what? Oh, this says 3.1. Oh, you know what? No. I'm tired. To use. What did we change? We changed a lot. To correctly use tools. There are still some errors in this code. Need to keep troubleshooting. Okay. Do we want to go down that? I don't know. I just want to keep going. Okay. Available functions. If callable here. input should be a valid dictionary. So what is it saying where? Yeah. Olama chat here, messages, tools available. Okay. So this is the line that's causing the problem, right? Response is equal to olama.chat, but we have this in multiple locations. So which one are we doing? Tools available. Okay, so I think it's not liking this. So messages, first off, what is messages right now? It is... So it could either be messages. Tools equals this here. For tool, input should be a valid dictionary or instance of a tool. Okay. So it's not liking my tools. A dictionary. So it is a dictionary, by the way. Okay. All right. So here is my code. And here's the error. I think this is what you were telling me about, but I am not quite seeing my problem still. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna take a few seconds. Have some coffee. Okay. So the PyDance, the library Olama uses to validate data, is complaining because you are trying to pass a dictionary where it expects a list of functions. But the error specifically said here. I guess yeah, here, right? But the error said, and I pass in a dictionary. So I am confused about this point, okay? When you pass here, Olama looks at your dictionary. It sees key here, which is a string. Olama says, wait, a string isn't a function. I don't know how to turn a piece of text into an AI tool. Okay, to fix this, list versus dictionary. In the Olama chat, call the tools parameter. In the olama.chat call, the tools parameter must be a list of functions themselves. Okay, the pointers. You only use dictionaries later to look up and execute the code. Okay. Okay. So, tools available here is wrong. We want tools to be the actual pointers. Okay. So, let me just go and do this. Can I say available function pointers, right? And we have Copilot has woken up once again. Let us Copilot, can I just disable you permanently, please? please. Okay. Available function, and then pointers is going to be equal to a list, and it is going to be, so status of lights in room, right? And it is going to be temperature in room. And then we should be able to say like this, come here, function pointer like this, and function pointer in the other one, wherever that is. Where's Olama? Here. Oh, we don't even need it right there. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and copy it, right? And now we're gonna come in here and do the same thing. So cat here into Judson, paste that in, end of line it, and run it. Python 3 Judson, okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Although I'm not sure why it decided that it was unable to hear me, because it shouldn't be doing a tool, right? So why did it crash? Oh, because this is... Got it, okay. Response here, there, okay. Preempting your next crash. Oh, great. Should have seen that. Once you fix this, you hit one more snag. In your for loop, when you append the tool, you must tell AI which tools the result belong to. Update here. Oh, add the field name? Why? Role tool content is tool output, yeah. And then name is tool function name. Okay, so it does not or it's not going to like that. It's pulling it right now. So when I want this, I also need apparently to say whatever this, I don't know, like name. I don't know why I need that. Let's name is equal to, and then tool.function name. So we're this is back to that tool, right? And then dot function name is the introspection. Tool dot function dot name, something like this, right? Like this. Why did my I mentioned available function is for lookup, is what AI is allowed to do. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Here we go. I hope this will work. Let's see, did it, so save this. I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna cat this back in. So it didn't respond with anything, which means that it makes me think that it's trying to call it, although it didn't call a tool. What? What is going on? It didn't even respond. It didn't respond with anything? So it didn't call for a tool. It didn't call anything. Oh, that's because I have here okay. So we're still doing this if-else thing. I was trying to be slick and not do that. I don't care at this point. If if response dot message dot tool calls, right? Then we're going to do this. I don't even care right now. Okay. That sucks. I hate this. I hate this format. But this one is going to get a response to like nothing, right? Okay. And then we can delete this though. And now we say here, so if this is the case, then we go through each of them and do this. Okay. So what do I don't even know anymore. My brain is kind of dead. Yeah, we've been going for a while now. Messages. Okay. So I'm going to come here. I am going to get this. We go through all of these and I append this. And now I want to go back into it and say, hey, update. And then print it. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to tell it what it said, right? And then otherwise, and I've already gotten the message right there, so I don't need to append this message. Okay, this is so inelegant. I don't like this. I print and then response dot message dot, what is it going to be? Content, yeah, content, something like this. It's disgusting. This is disgusting. I don't like that if else. I really do not like that if else. Okay. Oh. This one, paste that into there, it, and now run it. Okay. So now, can you hear me? Let's see. Doesn't seem to be too hot. I don't know. So that doesn't make any sense, right? This doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. Look at its response. So to answer the original question directly, unfortunately, I'm a smart home assist, so it got that, and do not have the capability to interact with audio or hear the user. However, if you need assistance, oh, so it didn't try to answer the question. Is that right? Let's try to do something that would require, what are my lights doing right now? Okay, let's see about this. Let's see if it does the tool call. Okay, great, good. what is this? Tool call has an attribute function. So I misspelled something. Okay. Which is why it would be very helpful if we had the autocomplete right there. Okay, so tool here looks like that is good. Okay. Look at this response. I think it's because we said you're a smart home assistant. You are, I'm gonna say, an AI chatbot. An AI chatbot that also has access to tools. Okay. Look at this response. I think why did it try to call to put JSON in the response? I don't see what this is doing or why it responded like this. I think it's because of this right here, and when I asked the question, it was saying, "Oh no, I can't hear you because I don't have that tool." Okay. Trained to use tools. However, it got confused at the boundary between talking to you and calling a tool. Why did it output JSON at the end? Because it's supposed to just use the tool, right? The model decided it wanted to check the temperature to be helpful, but instead of sending a formal tool call signal, which Olama would catch, it simply typed this out. Yeah, so that's the problem. There are 3 reasons for this. This happened. You said, "Can you hear me?" The model is trained to kick in. I am an AI. I don't have ears, but I'm a smart home assistant. I should probably check the room status to be helpful. Okay. Room ID. Your Python function doesn't even take a room ID argument. The model hallucinated that it needed a parameter because most real-world temperature will require one. Okay. Version 3.0 is notorious for typing out tools instead of executing them. 3.1, which is what we have though, is much better. We're using 3.1. 3.1, 3.1, right? I don't call it anywhere else. Yeah. But it can trip up if the system prompt or tool description is slightly vague. Okay. So you're a smart home assistant. Use tools only when necessary. If you use a tool, don't talk about the JSON. Just use the tool. Okay. Let's we're just gonna copy that. Okay. Function definitions returns the current temperature inside the user's room as a string, takes no arguments. Okay. Fine. I can just say whatever. Takes no arguments. Okay, same thing here. Takes no arguments. Okay. What did the code see or didn't do? In your code, the for tool in here loop only runs if Ollama identifies a tool call. Because the AI simply typed out the JSON, it treated it as content, not as a tool call. Your Python script saw it as just another message, which is why the loop didn't crash. Or didn't catch it. Okay. Okay. So let's retry this. So we're gonna copy. We're gonna come in here and we are going to cat this, paste it in, get this, and then run that. Okay, so can you hear me? Okay. Hopefully it doesn't try to call a tool. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is changing like the drop time so that when I load something, because I want Llama 3.1 to always be in my RAM essentially, because I don't want to keep loading it. I'm only going to be using Llama 3.1, so I should be able to just have it like only during the startup does it need to load it into RAM, because I don't want to be waiting for all of this. This is kind of ridiculous. So here, how can I make, oh, come on. 我操，你真的不可以做吗？ I'm not capable of hearing or responding to audio inputs. Oh my gosh. Is this model just too dumb? I don't need you to hear me. Just talk with me. Okay. Thinking, I need to use this. Okay. Well, that works, right? Okay. Wait, status of lights in room, and then temperature. Okay. How can I make the model stay in my RAM so I don't need to keep loading it after the 5-minute like wait? Time frame. Okay. So I'm gonna come here and say this is the output and this is Alright. So either we need to adjust our, I think we need to adjust this right here. I think it should be chatbot. I think we should say chatbot and you have access, you also have access to tools or something like that, right? I think it's not liking that. The other thing that I need to do is figure out why it was getting the wrong thing. So it seemed to call, it called this like this one was incorrect, like something is incorrect. Keep alive equals -1. Okay, that will be nice. Don't unload this unless I tell you to. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. That way. Okay, Olama here, model, and then keep alive. Keep alive is equal to -1. Okay. So now, Olama keep, no, that's fine. Wyatt hallucinated. Temperature. Yeah, the light function happened because of context drift. Okay, that's another thing that's going on my list, or maybe we're gonna deal with it right now actually. But I just want to put it on to make sure. Context drift. Context drift. The LLM is a statistical engine. In its previous turn, it tried to output JSON for room temp. Even though your code didn't execute that tool, the JSON is now sitting in the message history. Okay. The AI sees temperature in its own history and okay. That it should talk about it, even though the latest tool is actually for lights. Okay, cleaning up the JSON link. In your previous here, because your code didn't recognize, you need to tell the AI that if it's not actually finding a tool, it should stay in chat mode. Okay. Changing the very last part of my loop here. So, we're just gonna do this, like, okay. Messages.append. Whatever. And then response dot message. Okay. Is an object. Okay, that's fine. That's whatever. I'm just. Does it have thoughts? I'm gonna change the system prompt. I don't want this to say this anymore. So I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm gonna hashtag it out, and then I'm going to paste it here, and say, instead, I'm gonna say, like, something like this. You are a intelligent chat bot. You also have access to tools if you find them necessary during conversations. Okay, like that. Okay. Must append the message so the history knows what the AI did. I thought I did that, right? I do. Right there. Okay. copy this. Same thing. We're going to come here. We're going to quit. And then we are going to cat it right here. See, now we're flowing. Now we can get this pretty quick. Do this and then Python it. And now I can come in here. Can you hear me? See if it does it. Hopefully this is a little bit better. All right. I think pretty soon I'm going to start. I'm going to go get something to eat. Take a little bit of a break, but it's loading the entire model again. We must have missed our 5-minute window, but hopefully that will not happen in the future because we did that keep alive. So I am going to, while this is doing its thinking, I'm going to come here and I am going to just commit this again. So git add, git commit, -m. I changed the system prompt to allow LLM to be a chat to, no, it's still not working. Speech recognition, it just created its own tool. Okay, well, that's going to be the next video. To allow LLM to chat instead of just being a smart assistant tool user, but the model still keeps trying to use tools even when no tool would be required. Okay. It also calls for those tools incorrectly by outputting JSON into the text context content instead of the what was it? Tool call list. Okay. It also is making up its own tools, which I didn't tell it. Which I didn't tell it that it has. Okay. So git push gen main. Okay, so that is going to conclude today's video. Well, okay, I already had a video today. But I mean this video. It's going to conclude this video. I am going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to probably get something to eat and then come back with another video, and we're just going to keep on trying to improve this. We might need to change the model actually. Like if this is not working, if the 3.1 is not working, maybe we go to a different model. I'll see what we can do. The inference time is actually pretty quick, so we might be able to go to a better model, like a more advanced model. As long as it's loaded into RAM, we should be okay. So we have 8 gigs to play around with, so it should be okay. maybe, I don't know, 7 gigs, 'cause I don't know if it's how much the other processes are taking up. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is Timothy Lee Grant. If you want to follow or not, I don't know, if you want to join me in this journey, right? Subscribe. I would love to have you around. And yeah, so I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.